Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Do you guys know listening to English conversations is one of the most powerful ways to improve your speaking skills? It helps you hear the natural rhythm of the language, pick up new expressions, and understand how real conversations flow. Just by listening regularly, you can start to feel more confident and natural when you speak. Before we begin, we'd love to know your thoughts. What's your favorite social media platform and why? Drop it in the comments. We really enjoy reading your answers and connecting with you there. All right, let's get into today's topic. Hey, I'm Erica. It's always great to be back and talking with you all. This space feels like a little hangout for people who want to grow and learn English in a real simple way.
And I'm Marco. Thanks for being here again. We're just two people having conversations, and hopefully you feel like you're right here with us, just listening in like a friend.
So today, we're talking about something almost everyone is part of now, social media. Whether it's Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, or even Twitter, social media is all around us. Some people love it, some feel overwhelmed by it, and some are just trying to find a healthy balance.
Right. And it's interesting because social media can really shape how we think, feel, and even how we talk to each other. There are people who feel inspired by what they see online, and others who feel stressed or left out.
Exactly. And sometimes scrolling through your feed can make you feel like everyone else is doing better, traveling more, or living this perfect life, which we know isn't always true.
That's one of the emotional sides of it. It can bring us closer, help us connect, even make us laugh or cry. But at the same time, it can also make us compare ourselves and feel pressure.
And that's the tricky part, right? We use social media to stay in touch, learn new things, even relax after a long day. But slowly, it starts shaping how we see ourselves. Like, if a post doesn't get many likes, suddenly we feel like it wasn't good enough. Or if we see someone doing something amazing, we might think, why am I not doing that?
Yeah, and it's so easy to forget that most of what we see is just the highlight reel. No one's posting the moments when they're bored, confused, or struggling. We're just seeing their best 5 seconds and comparing it to our whole day.
And for people learning English, social media can feel even more intense. You might follow influencers who speak super fast, use lots of slang, or seem so confident. And that can make you feel like you're not doing enough or speaking well enough.
Oh, absolutely. But here's the thing. What if we started using social media in a smarter, more positive way? Like choosing to follow pages that teach us something, or people who speak clearly, or creators who talk honestly about their real lives.
Totally. Social media isn't bad by itself. It just depends on how we use it. It can be a tool to grow, to feel inspired, and to practice listening to real English, just like what we're doing here. That's the magic of being mindful online.
And being aware of how it makes you feel. If scrolling makes you feel down or anxious, it's okay to take a break. That's a healthy choice. Sometimes stepping back gives you a clearer picture.
You know what's cool, though? Social media also gives people a voice. Someone from a small town can share their ideas with the world. People can find others who share their same interests, cultures, even struggles. That kind of connection is powerful.
Yeah, and especially for English learners, it opens up a world of practice. You can follow English-speaking channels, leave comments, write messages, and just be part of the conversation.
And remember, the goal isn't to be perfect. It's to connect. Even a simple message in English is progress. Every post you understand, every video you listen to, it all adds up.
So true. And honestly, if you're listening to us right now, you're already doing something great. You're using your time online to improve yourself, and that's something to be proud of.
Speaking of that, Tell us in the comments, how do you feel about social media? Do you find it helpful, stressful, or a mix of both? And which platforms do you use most to learn English or just enjoy content?
We'd love to hear from you. Your thoughts really help us make these episodes better and more connected to your experience.
All right, we're just getting warmed up with this topic. Let's go a bit deeper.
Yeah, because when you think about it, every platform has its own personality. Like YouTube is where people go to learn or be entertained for longer. Instagram is all about images and short videos, more about lifestyle. TikTok is super fast, very trendy, and each of them affects your brain a little differently.
Right. On YouTube, you might sit through a 10-minute video and actually learn something step by step. On TikTok, it's like boom, 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 30-second videos, constant stimulation. It can make your attention span shorter without you even realizing.
Exactly, and that matters because when you're learning a language like English, attention is gold. You need to really focus on how words are said, what expressions mean, how people naturally speak.
Yeah, like this. These conversations we're having here, slow, real, thoughtful. This is how you train your ear. This is how you get used to how English sounds in normal life.
And another thing about social media, it creates trends in language. Like certain slang or phrases go viral, and suddenly everyone's using them. If you don't know them, you can feel left out or confused.
So true. Like the word vibe. 5 years ago, hardly anyone used it the way we do now. Now people say things like, this song has a chill vibe, or that coffee shop has a good vibe. It's become part of the way people speak casually.
And it all starts online. So if you're on social media, you're actually in a great position to pick up those modern, real-world expressions. But it takes some awareness. You have to be listening for them.
And don't worry if you don't get it the first time. Even native speakers get confused by new slang sometimes. Just keep listening. Maybe look it up or ask in the comments. That's how you learn.
Plus, you'll notice pronunciation trends too. Like some people say going to, others say gonna. Some say did you, others say didya. These are things you'll hear on social platforms that you might not read in a textbook.
And if you're following content creators who speak in a clear, natural way, that's a goldmine for your listening skills, especially if they talk about daily life, feelings, or share personal stories. That's the kind of English that really sticks.
Definitely. It's not just about learning words, it's about connecting to the culture behind those words. And platforms like YouTube or podcasts really allow you to do that.
So true. And the more you feel connected, the more motivated you'll be to keep learning. And we know it's not always easy. Some days it's hard to stay focused or you feel like you're not making progress.
But just remember, every time you choose to listen instead of scroll mindlessly, every time you pay attention instead of skipping ahead, you're building something. Slowly but surely, your understanding grows.
And you're not alone. There are millions of people around the world just like you, listening, learning, and trying to speak better English. We're all in this together.
That's why we love doing this podcast. It's not just about teaching, it's about sharing, understanding, and building confidence through real conversations.
So let us know in the comments, what's one thing you've learned from social media that helped your English? Or what's one platform you think is actually useful for learning?
We're excited to read your thoughts. And if you're enjoying this episode so far, make sure to follow or subscribe so you don't miss the next one. We've got more good conversations coming up.
All right, let's keep going deeper into this world of online life and language learning.
You know what's really interesting? The way people present themselves on social media. It's almost like everyone becomes their own little brand. That changes the way they speak, too.
Yeah, like how influencers on Instagram or TikTok use a specific tone or repeat certain phrases. Hey besties or okay so boom. You hear that over and over, and suddenly you catch yourself using it too.
Right. That's actually how native level fluency develops, through repetition and exposure. It's not just grammar drills, it's hearing the same phrase used naturally 100 times, and then your brain just picks it up.
And the emotional part, that's huge. We tend to remember things that hit us emotionally. A funny reel, a sad story on YouTube, a motivational speech. If it touches you, the language sticks.
That's why storytelling on social media is so powerful for language learning. When someone shares a personal experience, like how they moved to a new country or struggled with self-doubt, you connect with it, you listen closer, you feel it.
Exactly, and you learn so much language in that process. Not just the words, but the tone, the emotion, the pauses, the rhythm.
And you start to pick up on how people speak when they're being honest or vulnerable. Like when someone says, "Honestly, I didn't know what to do," or "I was really scared at that moment." That's real emotional English.
And the cool thing is, you don't need to understand every single word to feel it. You understand the energy, the emotion, the meaning. That's how fluency begins.
Yeah, and here's a great tip. Next time you're watching a video or listening to someone online, try to notice their expressions. Not just their face, but their words, how they say things when they're excited or nervous or joking.
It's a game changer. And honestly, once you notice those patterns, you'll start using them naturally. That's when English becomes more than just a school subject. It becomes a part of you.
I love that. And hey, if this episode is helping you think differently about how you use social media for learning, leave a comment and tell us how. What kind of content inspires you? Who do you follow that actually helps you grow?
Yeah, drop your favorite channels or creators in the comments. We'd love to check them out too. And it might help someone else discover something new.
We're all here to grow, and honestly, sometimes the biggest changes start with the smallest shift, like watching a conversation instead of scrolling past it.
Or choosing to listen actively instead of just playing something in the background. These little choices, they build your confidence one moment at a time.
All right, we've got more to dive into. Let's keep this conversation going.
So Marco, speaking of little choices, what do you think about how social media affects the way we see ourselves? Like, do you think it adds pressure?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we're all comparing, even when we don't mean to. Someone posts their perfect morning routine or a luxury vacation, and suddenly your regular day feels boring. But here's the thing. We're comparing someone's highlight reel to our behind the scenes.
Yes, and that comparison can really hurt your confidence, especially when you're trying to improve something like your English. You see someone speaking fluently and think, I'll never be that good, but you're only seeing the result, not the practice behind it.
Exactly. What you don't see are the hundreds of hours they spent shadowing, repeating phrases, watching content, making mistakes. Growth is quiet. It's invisible for a long time.
And you know what's powerful? When you stop focusing on being perfect and just focus on being consistent. Even if you listen to one podcast episode a day or repeat a few sentences in front of the mirror, that's enough. It adds up.
Yeah, and being kind to yourself while you're learning, that's a big one. Social media can make you feel like you're falling behind, but in reality, learning happens in your own time. It's your personal journey.
That's so true. You don't need to be perfect to be proud. If you're trying, you're already doing more than most people.
So, whether you're listening to this while walking, cleaning, or just relaxing, remember, it's helping. Your brain is absorbing, you're improving, even if it doesn't feel like it yet.
And hey, if you enjoyed this conversation, let us know. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What's your experience with learning English through social media? What's helped you?
Share your story, your struggles, or even your favorite content creators. Let's build this community together.
And if this episode brought you some insight, inspiration, or even just a smile, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Share it with a friend who's learning English too. Sometimes all it takes is one good conversation to change everything.
Thanks for being with us. We'll see you in the next episode. Keep listening, keep learning, and most importantly, keep going.